Tonight, the main bomb maker behind the deadly Bali attacks walks out of prison early, angering survivors and victims' families. Keeping the lights on, energy ministers agree on a new plan to increase renewable electricity. Shock claims in the ball tampering scandal, accusations that Australian cricket officials endorsed plans to cheat years before the sandpaper scandal. And the career changes heading back to the classroom. Good evening, Ashley Raper with ABC News. Survivors of the 2002 Bali attacks have expressed shock and disbelief after the release of the chief bomb maker halfway through his prison sentence. Indonesian authorities say Umar Patek has been de-radicalised, but Australia has sought assurances that the convicted terrorist will be monitored now that he's walked free.
Paul Vanni lost 6 mates from his Coogee Dolphins rugby league club in the Bali attacks. News of the bomb maker's release.
Let's bring in Anne Barker in Jakarta. And will this decision impact the relationship between the two countries?
Well, Ashley, look, I doubt it. I mean, Indonesia did delay his release until after the Bali bomb anniversary in October and indeed the G20 Leaders Summit in Bali last month. So it has clearly paid some attention to how this would be perceived by Australia and other countries. It has also made clear that even though he is a free man, he is on parole until 2030. That's 8 years. And if he does anything to breach those conditions, if he's caught doing anything wrong, his parole would be revoked and he could well return to jail.
Anne Barker reporting. The Prime Minister is working to finalise a deal with the states to curb skyrocketing power prices before tomorrow's National Cabinet meeting. It comes as the nation's energy ministers agreed on a longer-term plan to get more renewables into the market to keep the lights on.
Putting politics aside, for the cameras at least. Hello. Labor's Energy Minister Chris Bowen.
Green, ABC News, Canberra.
2 Melbourne baggage handlers have been sacked after they were caught on camera roughly throwing around luggage. Video posted on TikTok last week showed the pair tossing and slamming Qantas passengers' bags onto a conveyor belt at Melbourne Airport. The men worked for contractor Swissport. It supplies baggage handling services to Qantas and other airlines. On Saturday, the men were stood down pending an investigation. And today, Swissport confirmed they had been fired. Coming up on 7:30, the hidden sugars in children's snacks fueling the obesity crisis.
It's really devastating to see that the foods for our youngest Australians are so high in these processed sugars.
5 decades ago, only 10% of adults were obese. Now it's about 30%.
Also, will the government's new plan save Australia's embattled environment? Tanya Plibersek joins me at 7:30.
An extraordinary plan to overthrow the German government in a violent uprising has been exposed. The alleged far-right coup plot involved a sitting judge, former police officers and an active soldier. But the one man is alleged to have been central to the conspiracy, a 71-year-old prince who planned to take over as the new head of state.
He calls himself...
matched on the world stage.
To the weather, and Tom, the latest seasonal outlook offers hope of a much drier 2023.
Ashley, it was sunny today and it looks like we'll have more sunshine moving through summer. Now, I mentioned earlier in the week how the wet climate drivers are rapidly breaking down. And today, the Bureau issued their latest long-range outlooks. Firstly, for January, a near even chance of above or below medium rain for most of Australia. That's a forecast you would expect with neutral climate drivers. And the 3-month outlook from February to April even has a weak dry signal for parts of southern Australia. This is easily the driest outlook since early 2021. Although, one word of caution, January to April is a wet time of year for much of New South Wales, so average rain would still normally bring some periods of flooding. Now, before we talk about today's weather, if you missed last night's sunset in Sydney, it was spectacular. And that was due to cloudy skies overhead with a clear slot in just the right location to the west where the sun was going down. Now, at sunrise and sunset, light passes through in the west, warm again on Monday, with the chance of showers and storms. Ashley.
Thanks, Tom. Sarah Ferguson is here now with 7:30.